Right from the very beginning, there was such a sense of exploration, of lack of ego, of
Paul Newman has always been known for his charm, talent, and unforgettable screen presence. But nobody expected it when he named 7 most beautiful women ever. For Newman, beauty was not about fame or glamour. It was loyalty and strength. Who were they? And what made them unforgettable? Join us as we dive into the fascinating choices of Paul Newman, the list he never meant to create. Paul Newman was more than a famous face. He was one of the most respected actors of the 20th century. Many people remember him first for his striking blue eyes. They became one of the most recognized features in Hollywood history. But those who worked with him often spoke about something deeper. They spoke about his calm presence, his quiet focus, and his emotional control on screen. He was born in 1925 in Ohio. He studied acting seriously and trained at the Actors Studio in New York. Over the years, he built a career filled with strong performances in films that are still respected today. He was known for roles that showed restraint. He did not overact. He did not chase attention. His style was controlled and thoughtful. That quiet strength became his signature. By the time he reached later life, he had already won major awards, including an Academy Award. He had also become known for his charity work through Newman's Own, a food company that gave its profits to good causes. His public image was steady and disciplined. He did not live loudly. He avoided scandal as much as possible. He kept his private thoughts guarded, so when he was asked about beauty late in his life, people may have expected a simple answer. Hollywood has always been linked to physical appearance. It is a place where looks are often praised above all else. Newman had worked beside some of the most celebrated actresses of his time. He had seen fame up close. He understood glamour. He knew how the industry presented women to the world. But when he spoke about the 7 most beautiful women he had ever known, it was not a shallow list. It was not a ranking based on fashion or publicity. It was not about magazine covers or red carpet moments. For him, beauty had weight. It carried meaning. In his view, beauty meant strength. He respected women who stood firm in difficult times. Hollywood can be demanding and unfair. He admired those who remained steady under pressure. He believed real beauty showed itself when a person faced hardship without losing dignity. Beauty also meant loyalty. Newman valued commitment deeply. In his own life, loyalty shaped his marriage and his friendships. He did not praise people who moved with trends. He respected those who stayed true to their values and the people they loved. Fire was another part of his idea of beauty. This did not mean loud behavior. It meant passion. It meant drive. It meant a clear sense of self. He admired women who knew who they were and did not shrink to fit expectations. He also recognized vulnerability as part of beauty. Many actors hide their weaknesses behind fame. Newman believed honesty about human flaws showed courage. When someone allowed the world to see their softer side, it revealed depth. And finally, beauty meant presence. Some people simply carry themselves in a way that fills a room without noise. They do not demand attention. They draw it naturally. Newman respected that quiet power. He had worked alongside legends of the silver screen. He had built friendships across decades. He had loved deeply in his own life. He had also experienced loss, including the death of his son. These experiences shaped how he saw people. His idea of beauty matured over time. It became less about youth and more about character. So, who were these women? Which faces stood out after decades in the spotlight? And more importantly, what did each of them mean to him beyond appearance? Joanne Woodward, the love that outlasted Hollywood. Joanne Woodward stands at the center of Paul Newman's life story. Before discussing any other name, it is important to understand why she would come first. She was not only a respected actress, she was his wife. She was his partner for more than 50 years. In an industry known for short marriages, their relationship lasted from 1958 until his death in 2008. They met in the early 1950s while working in theater. At that time, Newman was still married to his first wife. After his divorce was finalized, he and Woodward married in January 1958. Their partnership quickly became one of the most admired in Hollywood. Woodward was already a talented actress in her own right. She won an Academy Award for The Three Faces of Eve in 1957, 1 year before their marriage. Her career was strong and respected. She did not depend on Newman for recognition. This balance created mutual respect between them. They appeared together in several films, including The Long, Hot Summer, and Mr. and Mrs. Bridge. Their on-screen chemistry felt natural because it grew from real understanding. They supported each other's work. Newman later directed Woodward in films as well. Their creative partnership deepened their bond. Newman often described Woodward as grounding. She brought stability to his life. Fame can create distance between people. It can invite temptation. Newman was open about the fact that he was not perfect. He admitted to flaws in his early years, but he also made clear that his marriage mattered deeply to him. Woodward was known for her intelligence. She loved reading and valued serious conversation. She was not focused on glamour. She cared about craft and character. This quality aligned with Newman's own approach to acting. Both of them valued substance over show. Their marriage faced challenges. Dick's long filming schedules meant time apart. The pressures of raising children while maintaining careers added strain. They had 3 daughters together. Newman also had 3 children from his first marriage. Blending family and fame required effort. Despite these pressures, their relationship endured. It became one of the longest-lasting marriages among major Hollywood stars. That longevity alone speaks to loyalty and commitment. For Newman, beauty began at home. Woodward represented everything he valued. Strength showed in her dedication to her work and her family. Loyalty appeared in the decades they stood beside each other. Fire lived in her determination to build her own career. Vulnerability appeared in her openness about aging and illness later in life. Presence surrounded her in both quiet and public settings. As Woodward grew older, she faced health challenges, including Alzheimer's disease. Newman cared for her privately and protected her dignity. Their bond did not weaken with age. It matured. In many ways, she was not simply admired by him. She was chosen again and again across decades. That repeated choice matters. In Hollywood, attraction can be temporary. Partnership requires daily decisions. But not every woman on his list shared his last name. Elizabeth Taylor, the violet-eyed force of nature. Elizabeth Taylor was one of the most recognized women in the history of cinema. She was born in 1932 in London to American parents. During the Second World War, her family returned to the United States. She began acting as a child and quickly became known for her striking appearance and natural talent. From a young age, she stood out. Her violet-colored eyes became part of her identity, and her beauty drew attention across the world. As she grew into adulthood, Taylor became true Hollywood royalty. She starred in major films that defined her generation. Her performances in movies such as Cleopatra and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf earned critical praise. She won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress. Studios valued her star power. Audiences followed her personal life as closely as her films. Her persona was larger than life. She did not live quietly. She married 8 times to 7 different men. Her relationships often made headlines. She wore bold jewelry and glamorous gowns. She embraced attention rather than hiding from it. Yet beneath that bright surface was a serious actress who cared deeply about her craft. Paul Newman and Elizabeth Taylor belonged to the same powerful era of Hollywood. They rose to fame during the 1950s and 1960s, when studios shaped stars into global icons. They understood the demands of that system. They both experienced intense public interest. Though they did not build a close personal friendship, they shared professional respect and moved within the same circles of influence. Taylor represented classic studio glamour. She carried herself with confidence that filled a room. Newman admired strong personalities. He valued people who understood their own worth. Taylor never apologized for who she was. She owned her image and her choices, even when critics judged her harshly. Confidence was one of her strongest qualities. She spoke her mind. She defended herself when necessary. She stood up for causes she believed in. In the 1980s, she became one of the first major celebrities to speak openly about AIDS awareness and fundraising. At a time when fear and misinformation surrounded the illness, Taylor used her fame to raise money and fight stigma. Her activism required courage because the topic was still considered sensitive. This showed emotional boldness. Emotional boldness defined much of her public life. She did not hide her pain. She experienced serious health problems, including surgeries and hospital stays. She faced addiction struggles and admitted them publicly. Instead of pretending to be perfect, she showed vulnerability in front of the world. That openness created a deeper kind of beauty. It allowed people to see her humanity. Newman understood the weight of fame. He knew how easily public attention could distort reality. He also recognized that living honestly under that spotlight demanded strength. Taylor faced criticism, yet continued to live fully. She loved intensely and grieved deeply. She celebrated joy without restraint. That willingness to feel deeply made her unforgettable. Her beauty was never only about her face, it was about energy. She had a powerful presence. When she entered a space, people noticed. She combined glamour with emotional intensity. This balance created magnetism that lasted for decades. For Newman, beauty included fire. Taylor carried that fire naturally. She did not dim herself to make others comfortable. She remained unapologetically alive throughout her life. Even in later years, she maintained her spirit and humor. She aged publicly with dignity while still embracing her identity. But sometimes, beauty to Newman was quieter, and that was what Audrey Hepburn represented. Audrey Hepburn, grace without effort. Audrey Hepburn remains one of the most admired women in film history. She was born in 1929 in Belgium and spent part of her childhood in the Netherlands during the Second World War. Those early years were difficult. She experienced hunger and fear during wartime occupation. These hardships shaped her character and later influenced her humanitarian work. Hepburn began her career as a dancer before moving into acting. Her breakthrough came with the film Roman Holiday, which earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress. She quickly became known for her elegance and natural charm. Films such as Breakfast at Tiffany's and My Fair Lady strengthened her reputation. Designers admired her sense of style. Audiences admired her gentle presence. She became a timeless style icon. Her simple dresses, clean lines, and graceful posture influenced fashion for decades. Yet her appeal was never loud. She did not rely on dramatic behavior. Her beauty felt effortless. It came from the way she carried herself. Unlike some of her contemporaries, Hepburn avoided scandal. She valued privacy. She focused on her work and her family. Later in life, she stepped away from major film roles to dedicate herself to humanitarian efforts. She worked closely with UNICEF, traveling to countries facing poverty and famine. She visited communities in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. She used her fame to bring attention to children in crisis. This humanitarian work showed gentle strength. She did not seek praise for it. She approached it with sincerity. Having known hardship during her own childhood, she felt deep compassion for suffering children. Her efforts were recognized with honors, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Paul Newman valued restraint in performance and in life. Hepburn embodied that quality. On screen, she conveyed emotion with subtle gestures. She did not overact. She trusted silence and simplicity. Newman respected that kind of control because it aligned with his own acting style. Soft-spoken dignity defined her public image. She remained polite and thoughtful in interviews. She treated others with respect, regardless of status. People who worked with her often described her as kind and professional. She maintained humility despite international fame. Compassion beyond Hollywood set her apart. Many actors remain within the world of entertainment. Hepburn expanded her focus to global humanitarian work. She showed that beauty could mature into service. As she aged, her features changed naturally, but her kindness grew stronger. This evolution reflected Newman's belief that true beauty deepens over time. Hepburn's life was not without personal challenges. She experienced difficult relationships and health issues, yet she handled these matters quietly. She did not turn hardship into spectacle. Instead, she maintained composure. Newman's appreciation for different expressions of beauty reveals his broader understanding of character. But beauty could also be raw, untamed, magnetic. Marilyn Monroe, fragility behind the spotlight. Marilyn Monroe remains one of the most recognized faces in the world. She was born in 1926 in Los Angeles as Norma Jean Mortensen. Her childhood was unstable. She spent time in foster homes and an orphanage. She did not grow up with the security many children enjoy. This early instability shaped her emotional life in lasting ways. She began her career as a model before moving into film. During the 1950s, she became a global symbol of glamour. Her platinum blonde hair, soft voice, and camera presence created a powerful image. Studios promoted her as the ultimate blonde bombshell. Films such as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Some Like It Hot made her an international star. Audiences admired her charm and beauty. Photographs of her traveled across continents. Yet that public image only showed one side. Monroe worked hard to be taken seriously as an actress. She studied at the Actors Studio in New York to improve her craft, as she wanted depth in her roles. She did not want to remain trapped in stereotypes. Behind the bright smile was a woman who longed for respect and stability. Paul Newman understood the pressure of image. He rose to fame during the same era. He knew how studios shape public perception. Though he and Monroe did not build a close professional partnership, he observed her career from within the same Hollywood system. He saw how fame could isolate a person. Newman valued vulnerability as part of beauty. Monroe's vulnerability was visible even through the glamour. She appeared sensitive and emotionally open. Her expressions carried a mix of joy and sadness. That contrast drew people toward her. It created a protective instinct in many who watched her. Emotional sensitivity defined much of her life. She formed deep attachments in relationships. She married 3 times, including baseball player Joe DiMaggio and playwright Arthur Miller. Each marriage faced strain under public attention. She struggled with anxiety and periods of depression. These struggles were not hidden for long. Media coverage followed her closely. Her humanity showed in moments when she appeared unsure or fragile. While the world projected fantasy onto her, she carried private doubts. This tension between public fantasy and private fragility shaped her story. She became an icon, yet she often felt alone. Newman likely recognized the cost of fame in her life. Stardom can offer admiration while removing privacy. Monroe experienced both extremes. She received global praise, but she also endured intense scrutiny. Small mistakes became headlines. Personal pain became public discussion. Her beauty qualified, in Newman's view, not only because of appearance, but because of emotional depth. Tragic humanity can reveal a different kind of grace. Monroe's life ended in 1962, at the age of 36. Her early death shocked the world and cemented her legend. Yet, it also highlighted how vulnerable she had been. She represented the kind of beauty that stirred empathy. In those people did not simply admire her, many felt protective of her. That response suggests something deeper than surface attraction. It suggests a recognition of innocence and longing. Over time, Monroe's image has remained powerful. Posters, films, and photographs continue to circulate. However, historians and biographers now emphasize her intelligence and ambition. She worked to create her own production company during a time when few actresses held that power. She negotiated contracts and sought better roles. These actions demonstrate determination beneath the stereotype. For Newman, beauty included authenticity. Monroe's emotional honesty, even when painful, revealed authenticity. She did not always hide her struggles. That openness exposed her humanity in a world that often demanded perfection. But not every name on his list was defined by tragedy. Sophia Loren, confidence and fire. Sophia Loren stands as one of the most respected international stars of the 20th century. She was born in 1934 in Rome and grew up in the small town of Pozzuoli during the Second World War. Her early life included poverty and food shortages. These hardships strengthened her resilience and shaped her character. Loren began entering beauty contests as a teenager. Her striking features quickly attracted attention. She moved into acting and built her career first in Italy, then internationally. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, she had become a global figure. She worked in both European and American films. Her performance in Two Women earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress, making her the first actor to win that award for a foreign language performance. She possessed a powerful screen presence. Her movements felt natural, yet commanding. She did not appear delicate or hesitant. Instead, she carried herself with confidence rooted in self-awareness. Audiences responded to her earthy charisma. She represented European glamour that felt bold and authentic. Paul Newman moved within professional circles that included Loren. Though they did not form a major on-screen partnership, they shared industry events and international recognition. Both actors understood the balance between commercial success and artistic respect. Loren represented a different cultural background within Hollywood. This diversity added depth to the era's leading figures. Newman admired fearlessness. Lauren demonstrated that quality through her choices. She accepted challenging roles that required emotional intensity. She did not allow herself to be reduced to a stereotype. She embraced her Italian identity openly. Rather than soften her accent or change her personality to fit American expectations, she celebrated her origins. Pride and identity shaped her career. She often spoke about her childhood and her mother's influence. She honored her roots even as her fame expanded. This sense of self aligned with Newman's belief that beauty includes authenticity. Strength that does not apologize defined her public image. Lauren combined glamour with authority. She did not rely solely on appearance. She built respect through performance quality and professionalism. Directors valued her discipline on set. Co-stars described her as focused and prepared. Her personal life also reflected stability. She married film producer Carlo Ponti in the 1950s. Their relationship faced legal and political challenges due to differences in nationality and divorce laws at the time. Despite these obstacles, they remained together for decades until his death. This loyalty reflected commitment and resilience. Beauty, to Newman, was never passive. Lauren radiated authority. She entered spaces with assurance. She balanced warmth with strength. Her laughter felt genuine. Her confidence did not appear forced. It grew from lived experience. As she aged, Lauren continued acting and appearing in public with dignity. She did not retreat from visibility. Instead, she showed that maturity can enhance presence. Her later roles carried wisdom shaped by time. Her legacy bridges continents. She remains celebrated in Italy and respected worldwide. Awards, honors, and lifetime achievement recognitions reflect her lasting influence. Then there was a woman who represented intelligence first, Audrey Hepburn, the independent spirit. Audrey Hepburn was one of the most respected actresses in the history of film. She was born in 1907 in Connecticut. She grew up in a family that valued education, independence, and strong opinions. Her mother was active in the women's suffrage movement. Her father was a doctor. From a young age, Hepburn learned to speak her mind and stand on her own. She entered the world of acting through theater before moving into film in the early 1930s. Very quickly, she became known for something different. She did not fit the soft, delicate image that Hollywood often promoted for women at the time. She wore trousers when it was uncommon for women to do so in public. She carried herself with directness. She did not lower her voice to seem gentle. She was confident in her natural accent and did not try to hide it. Hepburn became a trailblazer in the industry. She won 4 Academy Awards for Best Actress, more than any other performer in that category. Her career lasted over 6 decades. Films such as The Philadelphia Story, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and On Golden Pond remain important in cinema history. She chose roles that showed intelligence and strength. Thus, she often played women who spoke clearly and challenged authority. She was strong-willed in both professional and personal life. She did not allow studios to control her image easily. When some of her early films failed at the box office, she faced criticism and was labeled difficult by certain executives. Instead of fading away, she returned to the stage to rebuild her reputation. She then came back to film with renewed respect. That determination demonstrated resilience. Paul Newman admired strength and character. Hepburn defined that quality in many ways. She was independent long before independence became fashionable in Hollywood. She did not rely on public approval. She valued her privacy and guarded her personal relationships. Her long partnership with actor Spencer Tracy remained mostly out of the spotlight during his lifetime. She respected boundaries. Her sharp mind made her stand out. Interviews with Hepburn often revealed quick thinking and honesty. She answered questions directly. She did not attempt to soften her personality to please others. That intellectual clarity gave her authority. Independence shaped her choices. She often lived away from Hollywood, spending time in Connecticut. She preferred simple clothing and outdoor activities. She valued physical strength and enjoyed swimming and sports even in later years. This practical approach to life contrasted with the heavy glamour of the studio system. Hepburn broke industry norms not only in clothing and behavior, but also in the types of characters she portrayed. She often played women who pursued careers or held strong opinions. In a time when many female roles centered on romance alone, she brought depth and ambition to the screen. Audiences respected that difference. She was not traditionally Hollywood soft. She was steel. Her voice carried firmness. Her posture reflected confidence. Yet steel does not mean coldness. Many colleagues described her as loyal to friends and deeply committed to her work. Her strength did not erase warmth. It simply shaped it. Newman valued people who stood firm under pressure. Hepburn faced public criticism and industry changes across decades. Film styles evolved. New generations of actors emerged. She adapted without losing identity. That consistency likely resonated with Newman's own disciplined approach. She passed away in 2003 at the age of 96. Her legacy remains tied to independence and artistic excellence. She left behind a model of strength that continues to influence actors today. And finally, there was a woman whose beauty was not tied to legend but to authenticity. Grace Kelly, poise beyond the screen. Grace Kelly carried a different kind of story. She was born in 1929 in Philadelphia. Her family valued achievement and discipline. She studied acting in New York before entering film. In the early 1950s, she quickly rose to prominence. Directors such as Alfred Hitchcock cast her in major roles. Films including Rear Window and To Catch a Thief strengthened her image as refined and composed. Kelly won an Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in The Country Girl. Her performances showed subtle control. She did not rely on dramatic gestures. Instead, she conveyed emotion through small expressions and careful movement. Audiences admired her calm presence. She became a symbol of composure. Her style felt understated rather than flashy. Designers praised her clean lines and classic choices. Her public appearances reflected discipline. She rarely appeared chaotic or impulsive. This steadiness shaped her reputation. Paul Newman valued emotional control. Kelly displayed that quality clearly. She handled fame with grace. Even during intense media attention, she maintained poise. She did not chase scandal or dramatic headlines. Her approach aligned with Newman's preference for privacy. In 1956, Kelly married Prince Rainier III of Monaco. After the marriage, she left Hollywood and became Princess Grace of Monaco. This decision changed her life completely. She stepped away from a thriving film career at the height of success. That choice required courage. Few stars walk away from global fame willingly. Her ability to leave fame behind makes her story powerful. She embraced royal duties, charity work, and family life. She raised 3 children and focused on cultural and humanitarian projects within Monaco. Though offers to return to film appeared, she did not fully resume acting. Newman likely respected this rare decision. Walking away from fame shows strong inner direction. It suggests that identity does not depend only on applause. Kelly demonstrated that life can evolve beyond the spotlight. Understated elegance defined her public image. She did not exaggerate emotion. She relied on quiet authority. That restraint connected with Newman's own acting style. Both favored subtlety over display. Her life was not free of challenge. Adjusting from Hollywood to royal protocol required discipline. Public expectations remained high. Yet she maintained composure through these transitions. Her presence remained steady until her death in 1982, following a car accident. Kelly's beauty was linked to authenticity. She appeared sincere in both film and royal life. She carried responsibility seriously. Her poise felt natural rather than forced. For Newman, beauty extended beyond youth or fame. Kelly showed that elegance can continue in new roles. She walked away from the industry that had made her famous. That act alone reflects independence and strength. Returning to Paul Newman, it becomes clear that his idea of beauty reached far beyond appearance. For a man known worldwide for legendary blue eyes, he seemed to value what could not be photographed. In his world, beauty meant loyalty that lasted decades. It meant courage in public and private life. It meant intelligence expressed without apology. It meant resilience during hardship. It meant quiet grace under pressure. Each woman on this list reflected a different aspect of those values. Some carried fire, some carried softness. Some showed steel, some showed vulnerability. All left a mark through character. That may be what makes this list different. It was not about who turned heads for a moment. It was about who left an imprint over time. Which of these women do you think truly defined beauty in their era, and do you think Paul Newman was right? If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.